What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 769 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo to get your week started off right. And hopefully we're back on track with getting episodes up. I know it's been a hectic couple of weeks here in August. We've had a lot of stuff going on just here at Underground, and me just having some events on my own personal calendar. But nonetheless, we are hopefully back in the saddle as we head into our busiest time of the year, where Underground is obviously going 2 times a week. Football season's right around the corner, which means Guzman's Gridiron, our Vineland High School football coaches show that I host with head coach of Vineland High School football, Jose Guzman, will be back in about a week by the time, we put this episode out. It'll be about a week before Guzman's Gridiron is back, and I'll be back in the booth calling games for Vineland High School football for my 5th season full time, which is crazy to think about how quickly time flies. But obviously we have the PLL playoffs going on as well. Luckily for Underground Circuit, they're in their summer break for another week. We got the house show popping off with Patty Pitts. Getting the Hole is winding down in terms of big-time events, but nonetheless, it's PGA Tour playoffs. And we got to get streamer season back up and running and get our schedules all lined up there because we got a lot of things we got to cover over there. And then Premier League is back, so that means Top Bins, full swing. Myself, Harrison, and Mark back at it. But hey, that means business is booming, and I'd much rather be busy than not know what to do with any of my time. But it's all because of you guys listening to this show from the rip. So thank you for making this a reality to where it is, and hopefully we just continue to build this thing, and this becomes my career and all of our careers, quite frankly, and we're doing this full time and making you guys laugh and smile each and every day during the week. But we got a lot to dive into with the Fightin' Phils and their very weird road trip over the course of 10 games, a less than ideal visit to the nation's capital for a multitude of reasons. We'll get into this homestand coming up. I'll be there 2 out of the 3 days. I'll be there Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. We'll talk a little Philadelphia Eagles because as I record this on Sunday night, Howie season in full swing. And we will also talk a little Philadelphia Union as they fall to the New York Red Bulls for the first time since 2019 over the weekend. But before I get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. Pardon my yawn, it's been an exhausting weekend. But follow us on the socials. We're everywhere. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia. You can follow me on Twitter at KBICZL311, KBICZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod. I noticed I was looking at some numbies just the other day. A lot of new subscribers since the MLB trade deadline, which is pretty awesome. We are one of those rare companies that baseball season is a big time of the year for us, and I appreciate everyone tapping in as soon as the Joan Duran trade happened, and I welcome you to welcome all your friends, your family to subscribe to the pod, so keep subscribing on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We're 7 subscribers away from 1,100. I'm tired of not seeing 1,100 plus subscribers. Let's get there, guys. Let's get there before the end of the month. Let's make that happen. Come on. You already know the incentives. Once we get to 1,500 subscribers, I'm building a mini Lincoln Financial Field here until it's complete from our friends at FOCO. And when we get to 2,000 subscribers, I forget what I said we would do. Oh, no, that's not good. I'll remember. It'll come to me. But keep subscribing. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. On YouTube, leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show, guys, is proudly presented by the City of Vineland. And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on their social media pages, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and or YouTube. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
At the Vineland Municipal Utilities, we understand that when our business community thrives, we all win. As a not-for-profit utility, our reliability, lower cost of operations, and flexibility in meeting customer needs make doing business in Vineland beneficial to your bottom line. What's more, we are able to do so while maintaining our commitment to environmental stewardship. We look forward to helping you achieve your business goals now and for years to come. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, Phillies fans everywhere, the 10-game road trip has come to a close. It was a roller coaster ride nonetheless. The Phillies end up sweeping the Texas Rangers. They end up losing 2 out of 3 to Cincinnati, and then they split with the Washington Nationals. So they win a series, they lose a series, and they split a series on this 10-game road trip. Where do I even begin? I mean, the offense has been putrid outside of today's game, as I record this on Sunday. They need to find their stride. Because, I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Zack Wheeler on the injured list following Saturday's game, I believe it was, with a blood clot in an upper extremity area near his shoulder. I'm not going to get into the intricacies, and I'm going to drag the OG down here once we get more results, because Zack Wheeler's undergoing more tests on Monday. So we'll have some sort of clearer understanding of everything kind of going on to a degree with Zack Wheeler on Monday. But I'm going to drag the OG down here, and he's going to give us an injury report and what to expect from this. My dad is a physical therapist and wound care specialist who knows his shit, okay? He knows injuries like no other. When he hangs it up, I want him to become our official injury expert here on the show. But Zack Wheeler having a blood clot near his shoulder, as you can assume from hearing that, it's a scary thing. It's less than ideal for the product on the field for the Philadelphia Phillies. But I'm not even worried about that at this point, because the Phillies have dudes, Christopher Sanchez being one of them, who can step up. Aaron Nola pitched today, less than ideal return, all because of one blow-up inning. But I just hope Zack Wheeler, the person, the human, is going to be okay. I can't express it enough. I've said it time and time again on this show. Zack Wheeler is the most talented pitcher I've seen in a Phillies uniform since Roy Halladay. And this isn't like and Rob Thompson said this isn't like a hamstring or a muscle cramp or even Tommy John. This is like a true medical situation that hopefully can be resolved where Zack Wheeler can continue his career. Hopefully there's no complications from this. And to me, the overarching red flag is going into the Texas series. Zack Wheeler's start was pushed a couple of days. He then pitched on that Sunday. He was laboring through on August 10th to get through 5 innings. And the fact that they were even pushing his start, to me, that should have been your tell-all sign. Like, hey, this guy needs a break. Let's put him on the injured list. Let's give him some time to recover and see what's actually going on. And now we're here, where Zack Wheeler has a blood clot, and he's probably going to be done for the season, if I had to guess. With everything that kind of goes into dealing with a blood clot, which I luckily do not have experience with whatsoever, but he's probably going to have to go on blood thinners to get the clot to break down and everything. You can't play sports when you're on blood thinners, especially at the Major League Baseball level, And it sucks. It sucks because it leaves you speechless almost, because it's one of the best ambassadors for this team. It's one of the greatest pitchers of our lifetime. He's a future Hall of Famer. And this freak situation is going to prevent him from continuing his legacy. And like I said, first and foremost, I want Zack Wheeler, the person, to be okay. It just sends you down a million different paths, though, thinking, could this end his career? Where he is age-wise. He's talked about he wants to play out his contract and then kind of hang it up. It really puts a lot in perspective about, life and just what this team is going to be able to accomplish. And it makes Aaron Nola's return that much more imperative. It makes Taijuan Walker's season that he has had that much more important. It makes Ranger Suarez figuring it out that much more imperative. It makes Jesus Luzardo figuring it out that much more imperative. And your rotation now is probably Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo, Ranger, Taijuan. And it really sucks. To put it bluntly, this situation sucks on a multitude of levels. From Zack Wheeler, the person, Zack Wheeler, the player, how this affects the team, how much pressure this puts on so many different guys that already have a ton of pressure on them to perform to begin with. It's going to be an absolute grind the rest of this season, because Zack Wheeler is such an important part of what this organization does. The Phillies have a 5-game lead in the division that, you play the Mariners and Nationals at home before you go to Citi Field. That Mets series has become a gazillion times more important. Every series here on out has become a gazillion times more important. Not only because you need to win the division, but because you need to secure a top 2 seed in the National League. This team cannot afford now, without Zack Wheeler, to be playing in the wild card round. They just can't. They can't afford playing a wild card series, using pitchers for one series before gearing up, for another one, and the rotation kind of being out of sort. Because you see what it does. Losing Zack Wheeler shortens the depth of this rotation so much. It bumps everyone up. And, I know I've talked about it a ton. I said this season will go as far as this pitching will take us. It is going to be imperative for this rotation to figure it out, especially towards the back end. Pretty much anyone not named Christopher Sanchez and Taijuan Walker at that. It's going to take the bullpen being on their P's and Q's night in and night out. It's going to take not using Jordan Romano in games because he's a ticking time bomb of games being thrown away. And on top of that, the offense has to produce. That has been the Achilles heel for a lot of the losses the Phillies have sustained. I'm not even saying that as a negative thing. Like, the Phillies are 71-53. They're damn near 20 games over 500. If they would have swept the Nationals, they would be. They'd be even more. They'd be 73-51. But the offense cannot go cold. They need to be consistent, especially here down the stretch of August, going into September, gearing up for October. It is imperative for this team to figure it out at the plate. It is imperative. It's super important for Alec Boehm to perform the way that he did on Sunday morning into the afternoon against the Nationals. Alec Boehm's return was huge for this team. Trey Turner needs to be a tone setter at the top of the lineup. Alec Boehm was 2 for 4 with 3 RBI, hit a home run, a 3-run home run at that, was hit by a pitch, so he's on base 3 times, scored 2 runs. Nick Castellanos hit an absolute nuclear tank of a home run. We need Nicky C to really dial it in. I also would not be against Nick moving down in the lineup a bit to kind of just get his swinging confidence back. Weston Wilson had a clutch 2 RBI day today with a hit, 1 for 5. Bryson Stott needs to really pick it up at the plate, went 1 for 4 today with a walk. Kyle Schwarber doing his thing, still the MVP if you ask me. Bryce Harper seems like he's figuring a lot out at the plate right now too, which is huge. Harrison Bader had a hit and he walked in this one. But it's a credit to the bullpen as well for coming in and navigating after Nola had that blow-up inning in the 3rd inning where it looked like he was cruising, and then the Nationals just figured something out at the plate against him. Tanner Banks did his thing. He has been unbelievable. Joe Ross looked very good in this game. Good for him. Strahm was awesome. Max Lazar gave up that home run. 4 hits. That wasn't ideal for him. Joan Duran comes in, seals the deal. And luckily he's okay as well because we had the scare with his ankle and him getting hit in the ankle the other night which could have also been terrifying. But at the end of the day, I just hope Zack Wheeler is going to be okay. I hope this is not career threatening for him. I hope this isn't anything that's going to affect him just in his personal life. And I just hope he comes back healthy, and whenever that is. You know, you can't rush something like a blood clot. And it's just scary. It's scary. Like, when I saw the news, I had to make sure it wasn't like some fake account just out here like tweeting spam. I was my gut dropped. My heart sunk when I saw that Zack Wheeler had a blood clot in his shoulder, essentially, or near his shoulder. And hopefully we find out more news on Monday after he gets more tests done. But wishing nothing but the best for Zack and a speedy and healthy recovery, because he's truly the best. And, like, we have a pseudo connection to Zack. Like, Zack's brother, the moment Zack signed here, followed us on social media, listens to the pod. Shout out to Jacob Wheeler. Like, we are connected to Zack in a way, and it's one of those things that you never want to see this happen to anybody, but especially somebody who like, supports you to a degree due to their family supporting you. You know, it's a weird thing doing this podcast stuff and the connections you make. And I just hope Zack is okay, recovers perfectly fine in due time, and we see him back out on a mound in a Phillies uniform again. Will it be this year? My thought process says no, but you never know with athletes and what they're able to kind of bounce back from and how they bounce back from it. But it is absolutely gutting, and wishing nothing but the best for Zack. Man, sucks. Before I continue, I want to talk to you guys about our awesome pals over at 47. I'm rocking the Pomona hitch right now with the throwback. I love this hat so much. It's so clean. Got the green under brim. Has like a suede feel to it as well. I love 47, guys. I rock the hitch style hats literally every single day. I kid you not. We were filming some videos that I still have to edit for social media with intern Jacob, and Jacob's internship is over, but hopefully he'll be back soon. Just popping in from time to time, especially when the playoffs roll around. But I had to clear off the desk of all of the 47 hats I have down here because I literally have them for all of my favorite teams except the Union, because we need MLS to get on top of that. But I love 47. I wear them every single day. And truly, like, they have styles for everyone out there. No matter what team it is, whatever style you need, they've got you covered. Check out the contemporary basics for NFL and NCAA. Check out the MLB Carhartt collection with Bryce Harper.
So what we getting done today?
The usual.
My mama told me before I left my town. My mama told me
Perfect.
I'm going home.
And, of course, gear up for football season. The birds are back. It's no better time to gear up for the birds than right now with our friends at 47. Also, check out all the stuff they have for the Fightin' Phils, Flyers, Sixers, your favorite college teams, WNBA. I know Philadelphia doesn't have stuff yet, but their WNBA gear on 47's website is sweet. But check it all out. Use our link in the description. And when you join the 47 family, create an account on their website, you get free shipping on all orders from our friends at 47. Again, use our link in the description to shop with 47. Create an account, join the 47 family, and get free shipping on all orders from our friends at 47. And we thank them for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. So the Phils come back home after this 10-game road trip now. Series against the Mariners kicks off Monday night at 6:45, I would assume. It's typically home start times. Yes, 6:45 Monday, 6:45 on Tuesday, and 1:05 on Wednesday. Nice little business person special on Wednesday. And then the Nationals come to Philadelphia Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be at Citizens Bank Park Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, as far as I know. And then the Phillies go up to Citi Field for 3. The Braves come to town for 4, and that closes out August. It's crazy that August is like flying by like this. I hate when the summer comes to an end. But that also means we're ever so close to Red October, and the boys need to be ready. They need to dial it in. And the Mariners are a very good team. They're 68-57. They're a game and a half back in the American League West of the Houston Astros. They're fighting for playoff positioning, fighting for a division title. They got the big dumper coming into town, former Phil's prospect J.P. Crawford coming into town. They acquired Eugenio Suarez. They've got Josh Naylor, I believe it is. Yeah, Josh Naylor is with them. I think Bo Naylor is still with the Guardians. But you need to beat the teams that are on your schedule, and the Phil's got to win another series here. A disappointing overall road trip, to say the least. You started off on such a high note by sweeping Texas in a place that has given you nightmares for almost a decade, and then you lose a series to Cincinnati, a series that you should have easily won, against a team that is very average at best, and then you split with a team that is in last place in the division, that are not good, that are 24-38 at home now. Going into this, they were 22-36. So it's a frustrating thing where you start off 3-0 and you end up winning 6 games on this road trip, and you go 6-4 in 10 games. You got to take care of business against the Nationals over the weekend, but you also got to take 2 out of 3 here from Seattle. It's going to be a big test. I don't know who Seattle has lined up to pitch just yet, if they have even announced it. But they do have some very good pitchers. The Seattle Mariners do. So it'll be Logan Gilbert. Yep, Logan Gilbert against Ranger Suarez on Monday. Tuesday, it'll be Christopher Sanchez against To Be Determined. And Wednesday, it'll be Jesus Luzardo versus Luis Castillo, which will be very fun. A lot of fun pitching matchups. Like, the Mariners have very good pitching. And if you want to win, you've got to hit. And I don't know if getting back home will help this team, where they're 37-21 at home versus 34-32 on the road. Maybe that helps. A little home cooking here, and getting 6 games at home to kind of right the ship a little bit, kind of correct some things here, and exercise a little bit of the demons. But they've got to take care of business here at home against the Mariners and Nationals. 5-1 would be exquisite. I think 4-2 is the bare minimum you can go on this homestand. Bare minimum. You got to win both series. Ideally, you got to sweep Washington. 5-1, I'd be very happy. Obviously, 6-0 would be exceptional. But 4-2 is the bare minimum on this homestand. Before you go to take on the Mets, you got to build some camaraderie and some good momentum going into that series against a bad Mets team. They're bad, okay? They are not good. They're good at home for some reason. They're 41-24 at home. They're 25-34 on the road, but they're not good. And you've got to beat the ever-living piss out of that team. So let's figure it out, boys. Let's figure it out, okay? Let's figure some shit out. Before we get into some underground stats and info, it's been a little bit since we've done that. Want to talk to you guys about our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better way to stand out in the crowd No better way to stand out in the crowd than with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Whether you're going to the bar, heading to Citizens Bank Park, Subaru Park, Lincoln Financial Field, Xfinity Mobile Arena, formerly known as the Wells Fargo Center, or you're just kicking it at home. You want to be comfortable. You want to stand out. PHI Apparel Company is the place to do it. Use our link in the description. Shop all of their amazing merch for your favorite sports teams or your favorite sports podcast network, because all your official Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merchandise is there. When you go to check out at phiapparel.co, use code underground to get 10% off your next merch order from PHI Apparel Company. Again, that's phiapparel.co, code underground for 10% off your next merch order, and stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Been a while since we've done underground stats and info. We got to take a look here at the standings and take a look at the run differentials. We'll start in the National League East. The Phils have scored 575 runs, by far the most in the division. Next closest is the Mets at 554. The Phils have a plus 83 run differential. The New York Mets have a plus 36 run differential. The Miami Marlins are in third place with a minus 58 run differential. The Braves are in fourth place with a minus 8 run differential. And the Nationals are in last place with a minus 151 run differential. The white hot Milwaukee Brewers finally lost a game today. They are 78-45 and have a plus 161 run differential. We brought this up a couple episodes ago. It's crazy to think that the Brewers are where they are right now because they were the first victims of the torpedo bat epidemic to begin this year. The Chicago Cubs are 8 games back in their division with a plus 117 run differential. The Reds have a plus 49 run differential. The Cardinals are at a minus 30, and the Pirates are at a minus 87. The Dodgers are back in first place in the NL West. They have a plus 88 run differential. The Padres have a plus 44 run differential. The San Francisco Giants have a minus 2 run differential. The Diamondbacks are at a plus 5. And the Colorado Rockies are at a minus 327 run differential. They have surrendered 796 runs on the year. We do a little quick math here. 35 wins plus 89 losses, 124 games, 796 divided by 124, times that by 162. The Rockies are on pace to surrender nearly 1,040 runs. 1,040 runs. 1,039.93548 is their on pace right now. So we are on Rockies 1K watch, which is... it's all I've ever wanted, was a team to give up 1,000 runs in my cognizant lifetime. We go to the American League. The Blue Jays are at a plus 53 run differential. The Red Sox are at a plus 94 run differential. The Yankees are in third place in the American League East. They have a plus 99 run differential. The Tampa Bay Rays are at a plus 39 run differential, and the Orioles are at a minus 68. The Tigers are at a plus 80 run differential. Do the Phillies and Tigers have the same? No. Tigers have just played more games. Same number in the loss column, though. Tigers are at a plus 80 run differential. The Guardians are at a minus 34. The Royals at a minus 4. The Twins at a minus 37. And the Chicago White Sox at a minus 84. Then we go to the AL West. The Houston Astros are at a plus 27 run differential. The Mariners at a plus 31. The Texas Rangers at a plus 50. The Angels at a minus 71. And the Oakland A's, yes, the Oakland A's, they are at a minus 95 run differential. And those are your NL East and all baseball run differentials, brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Then we take a look at the Platinum Plunk standings here in August. It's been a while since we've checked in on these. We will get the July winners out on social this week. But looking at August right now, the leader in the clubhouse in the National League is Wilson Contreras, who is a 3-time Platinum Plunk Award winner now. He's been hit by 18 pitches so far this year, and that is tied for the final number that led the National League last year between Jurickson Profar and Jock Peterson, who were both hit by 18 pitches. And leading the way in the American League are Randy Arozarena and Ty France. Ty France now with the Toronto Blue Jays. He was with the Twins before the trade deadline, but now with the Blue Jays, they've both been hit by 20 pitches, just 2 off of Randy Arozarena's overall lead from last season at 22. Those are your individual leaders. And looking at the Philadelphia Phillies now, I know some things have definitely changed a bit, but Kyle Schwarber nonetheless is at the top and hit by 9 pitches so far this year. Otto Kemp, who was sent down today to make room for Alec Boehm, still in second place, hit by 7 pitches. Bryce Harper hit by 5. JT Realmuto has been hit by 4, as has Trey Turner and Alec Boehm. Boehm, I don't know if today's hit by pitch is registered on Baseball Reference or not, but he's either been hit by 4 or 5. Max Kepler's been hit by 3. Nick Castellanos has also been hit by 3, and Mundo Sosa by 2. Harrison Bader has been hit by 2. Bryson Stott's been hit by 1. Rafael Marchand has been hit by 1. Brandon Marsh has still yet to be hit by a pitch, which leaves Marshy, Johan Rojas, Weston Wilson as the only Phillies that are still with the organization this season that have yet to be hit by a pitch in their stints this year. Buddy Kennedy, Cal Stevenson, and Cody Clemens not hit by pitches. Cal Stevenson was released by the Phillies today in corresponding roster moves. Taking a look at the Major League Baseball standings. It's been a while since I've seen these, so I don't know what it's looking like, but the Twins are still at the top. They are just a juggernaut. They have been hit by 72 pitches as a team so far this year. The Angels are at 69. The Mets are at 66, as are the Mariners. The Diamondbacks are at 62. The Red Sox are at 60. The Orioles are at 59. Sitting at 58 are the St. Louis Cardinals. The Houston Astros, the Milwaukee Brewers, both at 55. The Kansas City Royals are at 53. The Detroit Tigers are at 52. The Giants and Blue Jays are at 51. The Rangers are at 49, which is league average. Sitting below league average, the Cleveland Guardians and Washington Nationals, who are both at 47. The Cincinnati Reds are at 46. The Phillies are at 45. The Dodgers are at 43, as are the Yankees. The Padres are at 40. The Pittsburgh Pirates are at 39. The Atlanta Braves are at 38, as are the Tampa Bay Rays. The Chicago Cubs and Colorado Rockies are at 35. The White Sox are at 33. The Athletics are at 32. And the Miami Marlins are in the basement at 31. And those are your Platinum Plunk Award standings here on August 18th, as you guys are listening to this. Brought to you by our awesome pals at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, is Howie season is here, everybody. The Eagles strike a trade today here on Sunday for John Metchie III. Now, a lot of you may not know John Metchie if you are just a casual football fan, but John Metchie, I think, is a very under the radar type of wide receiver that fits this Eagles offense to a T. And on top of that, John Metchie he's fast. He is like a speedy slot receiver. In terms of how he had to give up in order to get him, it is highway robbery. Metchie and the Texans' 6th-round draft pick that was originally the Philadelphia Eagles pick are heading back to the Eagles in exchange for tight end Harrison Bryant, who the Eagles signed in free agency this offseason, and a 5th-round pick that was originally the Texans' 5th-round pick. So effectively, now that both teams have gotten their picks back, the C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade has become C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Harrison Bryant in exchange for, I believe his name is, in exchange for Kenyon Green and John Metchie III, who the Texans drafted Kenyon Green in the 1st round of 2022 and John Metchie III in the 2nd round of 2022. So the Eagles have acquired the Texans' first 2 draft picks from the 2022 NFL draft. And if you remember correctly, the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2022 NFL draft did an absolute masterclass because they got A.J. Brown. They got A.J. Brown. And they also have Lewis Seen, who was the final pick in the draft's 1st round in 2022. 2022, the Eagles also drafted Cam Jurgens. They also drafted... Who did they draft in the 3rd round? Nakobe Dean. They also drafted... let's see. Who else of note did our Birds draft in 2022? Great podcasting here. I know. I'm just intrigued now. 2022 Eagles draft picks. Oh, yeah. Duh. They drafted Jordan Davis. Kyron Johnson, Grant Calcaterra. They also acquired, obviously, A.J. Brown. I think Kyron Johnson is back. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Where's he playing now? Is he a free agent? He was waived injured by the Titans and put on injured reserve and then released with an injury settlement in May. That's a bummer. I liked Kyron Johnson a lot. I think he's a fun player. But nonetheless, the Eagles strike a deal for John Metchie. And a lot of people forget John Metchie didn't get a chance to play his rookie season because of an unfortunate health issue. John Metchie, in July of 2022, he was diagnosed with acute promyolytic leukemia, which means there's an abnormal accumulation of immature granulocytes. Luckily, he has been cleared and recovered. He sat out his whole rookie year, but a year after, he was cleared to attend training camp and played in his first NFL game in week 2 of 2023. He was also named the recipient of the 2024 George Halas Award by the Pro Football Writers of America for his adversity. And in week 10 of the 2024 season, he scored his first professional touchdown against the Detroit Lions. And Metchie finished 2024 with 24 receptions, 254 yards, and 1 touchdown. It's a low-risk, high-reward trade, in my opinion. You didn't give up much at all. I think he's an exciting player. He brings a bit of a dimension that the Eagles don't necessarily have in this offense, and it still allows you to run your top 3 receivers of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. But you go 4 wide receivers, who's the defense going to cover? You know, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are going to garner a lot of attention. That opens up a lot of things for Jahan Dotson. And John Metchie is a speedster. What was his 40 time, I wonder? Also, John Metchie did a post-grad year of high school at the Petty School in Hightstown, New Jersey. I know a lot of people that went there, which is pretty sweet. And he was teammates with Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson at Alabama. So there's a lot of continuity there. There's a lot of camaraderie there from the Crimson Tide days. And I think this is a Howie Roseman masterclass, because you're buying low on a guy that has so much potential. And I totally forgot he suffered a torn ACL in 2021, so he didn't get to do the 40-yard dash. But I love this trade. I'm not saying it's like a world beater trade like the A.J. Brown deal was. I'm not saying this is this moves the needle that much more for the Birds than where they were now before this trade, but Harrison Bryant probably was not going to make the team. And you did a pick swap to essentially get your own pick back from a prior trade, and you get a receiver who can really help you. And I think Jalen Hurts is a perfect quarterback to help John Metchie kind of like progress and move along in his career. He's in the final year of his deal, I believe, and I think he's a restricted free agent due to him sitting out with the leukemia diagnosis. I'm going to pull up his contract right now, actually, and see where all of that sits. He's on the final year of his rookie deal, becomes a restricted free agent after the year. He's only 25 years old. If he plays well, you re-sign him. If he doesn't, you let him walk, and you took a gamble on a guy that, again, was a low-risk, high-reward, can really help this team. Like, I guarantee John Metchie's on this roster and healthy, good to go. There's going to be games this year where he contributes, and it's like, oh, that was the John Metchie game. You know, he's an exciting player that I think a lot of people are overreacting to the trade in a negative way. They're overreacting to it in a positive way, where shooting it straight down the middle, I'm trying to like think of a way to I think this trade's a little bit better than Jahan Dotson just because of what you gave up in each one. But Jahan Dotson, I think now a full year in this offense is going to feast as a number 3 wide receiver for the Birds. But I like this deal a lot, and I think this is just Howie being Howie. And going and making sure that this team is as good as it possibly can be moving into this season so that they have an opportunity to go win another Super Bowl. And I didn't say repeat because they're not repeating shit. They're not defending shit. This is a brand new season. And I'm excited for what this team's going to be able to do. You know, they have a lot of fun pieces on offense. And I know Landon Dickerson is dealing with the meniscus. We'll see when he comes back. But nonetheless, this team is going to be fucking awesome, guys. Like, I'm looking at the Eagles' schedule here. That Cowboys game, the Birds are going to feast on that team. They are going to feast with the offense that we have, with the defense that we have. The fact that we're raising a banner against the Cowboys is pretty sweet, too. But, you know, you look at these first couple of games here, this first 4 pocket of games in September. Home against the Cowboys, at the Chiefs, home against the Rams, at the Bucks. Tough stretch of games, for sure. 3 of those 4 were playoff teams last year. You know, you played the Rams in the NFC divisional round. You played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And right after that, you have a very hipster fun Broncos team that luckily they come here instead of you going there. Then you're at the Giants, and then you're at the Vikings, and then you're home against the Giants. Then you're at the Packers coming out of the bye. Then you're home against the Lions, at the Cowboys. Home against the Bears, at the Chargers, home against the Raiders, at the Commanders, at the Bills, home against the Commanders. But not looking too far down the line. But, like, this offense, like, I'm I know a lot of people are talking about the defense, rightfully so. Like, the defense, I still think is going to cook. There's a lot of fun young pieces on the defense. We're not talking enough about how this offense stayed the same. This offense was sick last year. Okay, I know there was moments where it was like, what are we doing? But like, if you just go back and watch how intricate and how dialed in the Eagles' offense was in 2024, like, they rocked. Okay, it was so fun. Like, the Bengals game, is one that sticks out to me that we don't talk about enough of how great of a win that was. Like, this offense is the Super Bowl MVP, Saquon Barkley, who should have won NFL MVP, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. You add John Metchie into this equation. Dallas Goedert is back. Grant Calcaterra is back. This offensive line is all back except for Mekhi Becton, which Tyler Steen has been great. Brett Toth has looked good, according to reporters from training camp. We'll see. Like, I just think this team is on the right track to do a lot of fun things again in 2025. And adding John Metchie to the equation only ups that ante because I think he's that good of a player and in the right situation can be very impactful. And I know he was on a good Texans team, a team that underperformed for sure, but I genuinely think that him coming here is only going to elevate what he's going to be able to accomplish, and that's super exciting. I'm super pumped about it, and it's only up from here. It's only up from here, and there's no better way to think about the Birds. I know we still got Red October up in this, John. We still got a lot to divest into and gear up for, but the NFL is on its way back, and you got to gear up for the Birds, okay? And there's no better way to gear up than with our friends at FOCO. FOCO is the leader in forever collectibles. Guys, get your Eagles overalls, your Eagles apparel, merchandise, everything you can think of from the Birds. They just released the Big Dom bobblehead. The Birds are cooking, and FOCO has you covered to make sure you are decked out, styled, and profiled for this Eagles season. Use our link in the description. Shop with our friends at FOCO, and make sure that you are styled to the 9s, the 10s, and, of course, that 400 level with the Philadelphia Eagles, with everyone on this team. And I don't know what happened there. My mic, shorted out. Apologies there. But nonetheless, guys, go check out our friends at FOCO. Link in the description, and upgrade your forever collectibles today with our friends at FOCO. Last bit here, the Philadelphia Union. It is brought to you by our awesome pals over at Bino. Guys, there's no better way to take in a game of soccer, football, whatever it may be, than breaking out the Bino board to have out while the game is on. Bring it to a tailgate. It's truly the best tabletop game to get you going. It's paper football meets foosball in the next big tabletop game flicking experience. They have officially licensed Philadelphia Union boards, plus every MLS team has an officially licensed board. They have officially licensed boards for Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Juventus, PSG, and more. Plus, check out all of the original classic Bino boards as well. Use our link in the description. And when you use our link to shop with Bino, when you go to checkout, use code BinoBennett62, and you get 10% off your next order from our friends at Bino. Again, that's BinoBennett62 for 10% off your next order from our friends at Bino. And we thank Bino for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Union dropped their first game to the New York Red Bulls since 2019. A streak of 16 has gone by the wayside. 16 straight games the Union beat the New York Red Bulls dating back to 2019. And it's an unfortunate streak that comes to a close. You love to dominate a rival. It is it's a game that they should have won, that they could have won, They missed out on multiple chances. They had a penalty kick that they should have capitalized on. But I do think the overall vibe and the energy of the game shifted as soon as Andre Blake had to exit the game with injury. It was a bad weekend of Philly sports, okay? The Phillies split with the Nationals. Zack Wheeler gets diagnosed with a blood clot near his shoulder. The Eagles lose their preseason game, and the Union streak against the New York Red Bulls come to an end, and Andre Blake leaves the game injured. Bad week for Philly sports, okay? Bad weekend. That's your biggest concern now with Andre Blake. He did say that he hopes he's going to be back far before the U.S. Open Cup semifinal, which is September 16th. Hopefully it's sooner than that. I mean, the Union have a game this upcoming weekend. It's just super unfortunate because this team is the best. You know, they're 1 point behind Cincinnati now in the Eastern Conference standings. They are 1 point behind San Diego FC in the overall standings as well. So, you know, you're bumped out of the Supporter Shield standings for just a little bit. But, you know, looking at the matchups upcoming, you have Chicago at home this coming weekend at Subaru Park. Then you go to Cincinnati on August 30th. And you have a little bit of a spell. You go to Vancouver on September 13th before you go to Nashville for the U.S. Open Cup semifinal on September 16th. September 20th, you're home against New England. September 27th, you're in D.C. You finish out at home against NYCFC on October 4th, and then you're at Charlotte on October 18th. So a lot to kind of just take away from that game, unfortunately. And I know, like, the U.S. Open Cup matchup was, like, pardon me, go check out episode 768. I did a breakdown of, like, my first Union game ever, which was that U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal. You want to win that game because you're still in the hunt for a trophy. But now you kind of have to navigate life without Andre Blake. Our good pal, I want to pull up his Twitter handle so that you guys can follow him because he does great work covering the Union pretty much independently. Jose Roberto Nunez, who writes for MLS, All About the Sports, and has his own Substack, reported earlier today that the Philadelphia Union are finalizing a deal to loan German goalkeeper Oliver Semle to North Carolina FC of the USL Championship. He's 27 years old, made 18 appearances for the Union first team since he joined the club January of 2024. It opens up an international slot for the Union. It's odd timing, of course, because of the injury, but the deal had been worked on well before last night, according to Jose. It's just now you got to figure out a way to kind of weather the storm and figure out your goaltending situation. And without Andre Blake, like, it sucks. Like, he is truly like the Zack Wheeler of the Union. He is the stabilizer. He is the guy that makes things kind of level-headed, and it's gutting that he's out for any amount of time, and hopefully he recovers and is good to go sooner rather than later. But all the best to Andre Blake. The Union are back at it on Saturday. Not that I can go to the game because I have PLL playoffs to cover on Saturday, which Water Dogs, let's ride, boys. It's time to rock and roll. But looking at Saturday, what is the ticket situation for Saturday's game at 7:30? What time are the PLL games too? I should know that, but here I am. 6 and 8:30. Yeah, definitely cannot go to the Union game because I've got PLL playoffs, baby. because that Union game is at 7:30. Some good seats, man. Some good seats. Is this the section I sat in? No, it was this one. Yeah, man, let me tell you, you can sit in section 129 at Subaru Park. It is lovely. Absolutely lovely. But there's no bad seat at Subaru Park, let me tell you that. That's great. That's great seats. Not that I can go to this game. I don't know what I'm even looking at it for, but nonetheless, hopefully Andre Blake is healthy sooner rather than later, and the Union get back to their winning ways this weekend against Chicago, a team that they should absolutely beat. Because we look at the standings, Chicago in the East, they are a bubble playoff team right now. It's them and the Red Bulls with 39 points. I think the goal differential is the tiebreaker right now. They're separating them. You should be able to beat Chicago. Hands down. You should have beat New York. You should have at least gotten a point out of that game. But the Union continue to still have a clear path to winning the Supporter Shield, winning the U.S. Open Cup, and hopefully winning an MLS championship. That is all I've got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. Subscribe to the pod on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 769. Let's get healthy and let's let everyone be okay. And welcome to Philadelphia, John Metchie III edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. I will catch you on Thursday with a brand new episode, recapping this Mariners series for the Phillies, gearing up for another series against the Washington Nationals. My happenings at the bank on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you're going to be there, say what's up. I will be all over the bank the next couple of days, which I'm very excited to get back. It feels like it's been far too long since I've been at Citizens Bank Park, and I can't wait to be back on Tuesday and Wednesday and Sunday. Thursday, we'll talk Phils, we'll talk Birds, we'll talk Water Dogs playoffs, and a whole lot more. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.